Let me tell you about my friend, Alyssa. She's in her late 70s, and for the last few years, something's been changing. At first, it was small. Things like misplacing her wallet or getting lost on her usual walks. But over time, the changes became more pronounced. Now, Alyssa is confused, constantly unaware of where she is, and even struggles to recognize familiar faces. Sometimes she can't even remember what decade it is. And as her symptoms have worsened, anxiety begins to set in, especially in the mornings. In the mornings, she feels disoriented and words are harder to find. After many tests, including blood work and brain scans, it's been confirmed. Alyssa's brain has amyloid plaque, which is a key indicator of Alzheimer's disease. This is a neurocognitive disorder that affects thinking, memory, cognition, and behavior. And unfortunately, there is no cure. One of the most important concepts that I've learned in this module is that early detection plays a key role in neurocognitive disorders, particularly when it comes to Alzheimer's disease. Early symptoms like memory loss, confusion, and disorientation can often be overlooked and simply attributed to like aging or stress. However, early intervention can slow down the degenerative disease and also help with symptom management. One of the tools that can be used to help with early detection is the Mini-Cog test. The Mini-Cog test, while simple, help me understand how subtle changes can manifest. So, for example, the word recall task is fairly straightforward. You're given 3 words to remember and asked to repeat them after a brief distraction. It seems simple, but it can reveal problems with short-term memory, which is often one of the first signs of Alzheimer's. The clock drawing task assesses spatial awareness and executive function. Both are crucial areas that can be affected early in Alzheimer's. I administered the Mini-Cog test to 2 other individuals as well as myself. The first participant was a 36-year-old Caucasian female, and the second participant was a 61-year-old African American female. And the third, of course, was myself, a 36-year-old black male. All of us scored 5 out of 5 on the test, which demonstrated no noticeable cognitive difficulty. However, there were some interesting observations. The older woman at 61 needed to concentrate and focus quite a bit more than the younger participant. While it was subtle, I noticed that the clock drawing task required a little bit more effort. This might be natural age-related cognitive decline, not necessarily a sign of a cognitive disorder or neurological disorder. But it highlighted the fact that cognitive changes can happen with age, even without a diagnosable condition. Now, reflecting on the experience of the Mini-Cog test, it was kind of fun, and because there was no urgency, it felt more like an exercise rather than something that was being done out of necessity. But I could imagine that if this was completed by someone who was struggling with cognitive tasks, this could definitely feel very uncomfortable and frustrating for them. I could see how the simplicity of the task could be very humbling for somebody who's already suffering from cognitive difficulties. Taking the test myself was a little bit of a different experience. I actually ended up taking the test after a long shift where there was definitely some sleep deprivation that was present. I found myself struggling on the task, and they were taking a little more effort than I believe they should have. This was an eye-opener to understand how fatigue can impair cognitive ability. So let's talk for a moment about the quality of the Mini-Cog test. I think it's an excellent tool for a quick assessment, especially when just trying to do some early intervention. But I do feel the tool could be a little more nuanced. Maybe having a more detailed spatial awareness component or a more verbal fluency component could provide a little further insight when trying to assess whether further cognitive testing should be completed. As it stands, it's an amazing first step. So, in conclusion, the Mini-Cog test is a powerful tool to identify early cognitive decline. While it's not a definitive diagnostic tool by any means, it provides an accessible tool to start conversations and further evaluations if necessary. And with conditions like Alzheimer's, the sooner we can address the cognitive changes, the better the outcomes will be. Thank you for watching. I really hope this provides some insight into the importance of early detection and early screening. As always, continue to remain a student of life.